assistants and a manager's job are not the same. So when I come in the morning, I have so much to do, so much to do. Hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. That is iconic Eunice. If you're new to this channel, I want to say welcome, and if you're a returning subscriber, I want to thank you so much for joining me here again today for another lovely video. My, where have I been? What have I been up to? It's been a minute since I sat in front of this camera and talked at all. The last time I talked to y'all, I was like frazzled. Okay, life had come at me hard, and it wasn't letting up. It was stumping my heart out. It was stumping, you know that song, stumping me in the nuts. Stumping, yeah, life was stumping me in the nuts. Well, basically the VJJ, but it was definitely stumping me out. So I had to take a pause, a mental break, a stop everything, a retreat, a surrender, everything. If it was to hide, run and hide, I had to do that. But I have a little bit of energy today. Things are feeling a little bit more settled-ish. Not perfect, but settled-ish. So I was like, I need to get on the camera now that I have this little bit of, you know, rat-a-tat-tat peace of mind, because that even was on the my peace of mind was also leaving me little by little. Okay, I need to take a break. I needed to take a break and get myself together, and I feel like I have found myself. We last spoke when the weather was freezing outside. The weather is hot. Actually, in the area I'm at, it is actually so hot. We had a heat wave yesterday and Monday, and today's a little bit better, but geez, it was hot. It was in the hundreds. Summer did not come to play, but we're here now. Alright, I have nowhere to go. I am simply doing this because I can, and I haven't done makeup in a while, and I actually bought a few new makeup stuff that I want to try out and test out. What did I even buy? I bought this Benefit eyebrow thing, and then I bought the Makeup by Mario like lip liner, and I want to try those, both of them. So yeah, I'm probably going to do my eyebrow off camera and then come back to y'all and then continue this life update, because that's what it's going to be. Oh, these are just like my little headbands and stuff like that. I was like, what is that? It's just my little headband. So we're going to do that, and then I'll be back. Okay, so I'm back. My eyebrows are done to the best of my abilities. Now y'all know I'm not a makeup guru. Never been, never would be. Honestly, to this day, I'm still learning how to do my face. My eyebrows especially. I really am. I do like the Benefit. I wish I could do better with making like the hair strokes like I see everybody on social media doing, but yeah. So I don't even know where to start. Well, the one and only major update that I have as to what I had going on is I switched my jobs. I feel like every time I dip on out, I think I say this all the time when I come back from a long hiatus. One or two things are happening in my life when I go MIA. One or two things. I'm either stressed family-wise, or I'm stressed career-wise. Okay, those are like the two main things that take a major hit. That's like, okay, I need to pause and collect myself. And sometimes both of them can be true at once. But this time around, it really was a career situation. One thing I'm gonna be is unprepared. What the heck? Anyways, I guess. Alright. So yeah, I don't know when last I posted. I didn't check before I got on here. I think it was like either February or March. I had just switched managements. Like my new manager had just come up because I used to work for a luxury suitcase brand, And if you've watched my past update, dead life, whatever, you realize like I was with the craziest manager. And this one ain't no different. And this manager ain't no different. It's just she ain't no different. She came on, everything was cool, and I liked her. I was like, oh, she has very bubbly energy. But now what she did clarify to me is that maybe I'm drawn to these personalities because they're like the shadow versions of myself. She was very bubbly, really bubbly. When you meet her, you feel like you've known her forever. She just has that personality. So when they were interviewing her, I was like, I really like her. When they were asking me, is that who you want to be a manager? At this point, the team was next to... Okay, let me start this whole thing over again because I'm babbling. The last manager left and it was me and one other person. And we're doing long shifts, double shifts, all of that. And we were desperate to get somebody on board. But I also wanted my area manager at the time to be very like particular with who she hired because I just didn't want to experience what I had just gone through with the last person who was managing us or whatever, because I was the assistant. I had no motivation to go into management role. I was happy being the assistant. The money was okay. I didn't have no qualms. I didn't want added stress. So I was like, I'm not going out for the role. We had just hired a new key holder who was also a nightmare. It was weird. Like, my other key holder quit. So we hired this one as part-time. Before the old manager left, he promoted them to key holder full-time. So it was me and them working, and we never really worked together a lot. It was very separate but equal. However, there were like things I was noticing, like they just had a hard time sticking to the dress code, which honestly, the way I am starting to understand human nature is people want to do what they want to do, or they're testing me. But I knew this was not my company, so even if you were testing me, I didn't care. As long as you came and you sold and you went home, that's all I cared about. So they weren't following the dress code. And I remember mentioning this to my area manager when she came to visit. I said, hey, by the way, I don't know, they seem to have issues with certain rules. She said, oh, you should, what she said? She said you shouldn't be so strict. I was like, cool, girl. Yeah, tell me twice. As long as nobody's like saying it's my fault, it's my fault they're coming undressed in the dress code, I don't mind. And I told y'all, and you all said that. It was fine by me. But they wouldn't like do the dress code. They would not take out the trash at the end of the night. I didn't understand what that was about either. So they were just doing little things where I was just like, okay. At one point, there was a big shipment that came in. They legitimately left the entire shipment for me to come and do the next day. I was so befuncled by that. And I told them, I was just like, bruh, like, at least tell me you're going to do that. So that way when I walk in, I'm not walking to something massive. And I'm not walking to incomplete work. Just tell me. I don't care. I could do all. I could do none. I ended up doing it. It's just the two of us. If it doesn't get done, it's on me. So I did it anyways. Went about my day. Told them, obviously, I was like, that's kind of rude and disrespectful because you were here all day yesterday. And it don't seem like we were booked and busy to the point where you couldn't do the shipment. But they just seem to be like that. Like, if you tell them to do something, they'll do the opposite. They just didn't want to be told what to do. And I noticed that. And for me, I'm gonna fall back quickly because once again, it's not my company. So if you're coming in thinking you're about to stress me out over certain things, you're not. I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna do my job, and I'm gonna go home. So fast forward, me and the key holder, we're holding on well, but holiday season is coming close. So then, like, I want to say around November, they got this new woman to come in. And I even told my area manager at the time, I was like, we need a woman to come in. Like, that's what we need. We need a woman. I'm trying to do this without making a long to-do, but I feel like it's going to be long because I'm all over the place. I said, we need a woman to come in because I had just had such a terrible experience with a man. I said, maybe if it's a woman, it'll be a little bit better. it looks like it was going to be better for the first few months. So she comes in and she starts to experience the key holder in the same manner. Like, she will say, oh, I want to start doing this, and they would just chastise her. They were transitioning from boy to girl. So they were in that fluid mode. So we referred to them as they, because that's what they wanted to be called. So I was like, they would just give her pushback. So every time she wanted to change anything, it was almost like an intimidating tactic. I don't know. I don't want to get in trouble, but it just gave a little bit of misogyny. It just gave a little bit of misogyny, and like, I don't know. They just wanted to feel as important as possible. Mind you, they're a key holder. They don't make as much decisions, but they were hell-bent on checking her on everything. And she and her and them will go back and forth, back and forth. And I was just in the middle trying to make like sense of everything. So when there will be big clashes, I will be on her side because I knew who we were dealing with was crazy. So I would be on her side. I would be like, I understand, like try to talk her off the deep end. There are moments where it's like they almost got physical with her. It was hearsay. Now I didn't see it. She told me that's what happened. I said cool. But you know, and then also my area manager was getting tired of them too, because they were checking everybody. If you were a woman, they were checking you. Okay. If you had boobs and booty, they were checking you non-stop. It was just odd behavior, honestly, and I just did not understand it, because in my mind I'm like, and then I remember my area manager tried to chastise them and was like, bruh, like, you know, like what's going on? They were like, oh, you know, I have a few, they were like, oh, it's my hormones and I have a few injection dates coming, and so I'll be fine soon. That kind of rubbed me the wrong way, because I was just like, someone who's trying to transition to being a woman, you sure are being very intimidating towards women. And then also, a woman could never act the way they were acting and claim hormones. Like, it will never pass. Nobody would take her seriously after that. Like, as soon as you say, oh, it's just my period, they'll be like, oh, okay. Okay. So that never made sense to me. But that's here, there. No, that's neither here nor there. So she and them will go back and forth. And I was just like playing tag. Like, but I supported my manager because she was new. She was a woman. She was coming in. Nobody was training her. She couldn't go get trained the proper way. People had to come to the store to train her. She got like a quick dose of training and then they left her on the floor. So then I had been there the longest. So I had to help train her too. And they also helped train her. And as we're going, I'm starting to understand where they're coming from too. Because this new manager is finding it hard to grasp our systems. Like, I'm talking about, you would tell her something the same exactly 3-4 times and she just wasn't getting it. Yeah, she just wasn't getting it. So I definitely understood where they were coming from. So one day we were having a meeting. As a new manager, she wanted to have a team meeting. It was, holiday was over. We were in a new year. New Year's have come. We're now sitting down as a group to kind of discuss the holiday, and then for her to like tell us how her expectations as a new manager, which I was in support of. I was like, cool, like, you're new, I mean, you're a woman, you seem understanding, you seem friendly, you seem bubbly, cool. I don't have no beef with that. And in the middle of the meeting, right before the meeting started, I had told her that there was an incident the day before because they had broken dress code again. Me and them got into like a back and forth, and I don't fight at work. This is the first job I've ever had to get loud. Okay, I have been treated poorly in a lot of jobs, but it's been passive aggressive. But at this job, I had to like vocalize my opinion very loudly to get taken seriously. The only job I've ever been chastised on the floor more than once in the most unprofessional way. Not by one or two, or by like legitimately 3 different people. And I'm just like, and I'm doing everything to avoid everything. I'm doing everything in my power to avoid confrontation. It's just not working. They're oppressing me. And I'm feeling oppressed. I'm like, this is crazy. I'm just an assistant. So I told her, I was like, hey, by the way, there was an incident. They had came in, same thing, you know, they came in out of dress code. I told them about the dress code. So right by the meeting, they take out their cell phone. That's another thing. My manager was the old manager was lenient with cell phones because come on, it's cell phones. But this manager was very strict about cell phones. She didn't want any cell phones on the floor. That was my least favorite part, but I still went along with it because I'm like, you know, your store, your rules. I don't care. I'm just here to get my money and support you because you're the manager. So we're about to start the meeting. She already heard from me that there was an incident with the dress code situation and she wasn't feeling that. So when she came on the floor and she saw that they had taken out their cell phone, she lost it. She's like, can you put the cell phone away? Can you put the cell phone away? And the key holder was about to get rowdy with her and she just said, I'm not doing this with you today. Just put the cell phone away, please. So the key holder left, went to the back to cool down because they were about to get mad. And then they came back out. When they came back out, they finally announced that they're going to quit because that was their limit. I was there. She was there. It was a store meeting. The store wasn't even open yet. So I guess they didn't understand why they were being yelled at to put their phone away. I got that. I said. But in my mind, I'm just like, you already know you're on this lady radar for being disrespectful. So I don't know why you're testing her because she's also trying to prove her worth as a manager. Mind you, this is her first managerial role. Y'all, this is my first... This is my first assistant role. This is her first managerial role. And this is their first key holder position ever. I've been a key holder. That's as high as I got in the corporate world for now. I went to assistant manager. And I honestly was like, you know, I'm done. I don't feel like climbing anymore. I'm good. Y'all don't got to take me no higher. I'm fine. I got it. And then this was her first managerial role. So she really was trying to prove herself. And also she's finding it hard to get systems. So she's doubting herself. And I felt that. I said, you know, I get it. Your ego kind of bruised a little bit because here is this human who absolutely has blatant disregard for your rules and regulation. Just blatantly disrespectful. And challenging everything you say basically to humble you. And I understand. And that's why I say it was given a little bit of misogyny. Just a little bit. And I don't understand what it was. It just gave a little bit of misogyny, to be honest. And that was... And the sad part is I had worked with LGBTQ community in the past. I have never experienced something like that from anybody who was in the LGBTQ community. I've worked with them and I've never experienced that. So that took me by surprise. I was not expecting that much like pushback towards us because, you know, you're trying to be, hey girl, I thought we would be like sisterhood, but I guess not. But then again, I'm sometimes naive. So they got into that spot. He quit. They quit. They left. Boom. They're gone. Final week of them leaving, you know. Okay, before they left, I looked at my schedule. This is the final week before they're leaving. I looked at my schedule. I said, wait a minute. I'm an assistant, aren't I? There are some perks to being an assistant. One of them perks, anywhere you go, one of them perks to being an assistant is you get to leave about the same time as management. You get to leave early, more than the key holder. And I've done key holding for different companies. And each time, a key holder, most of the time, without any fail, is the closer. So, I'm looking at the schedule. I'm realizing I'm closing more than I'm supposed to be closing since there's a manager and assistant and a key holder. So I bring it to my manager's attention. I simply brought it to her attention. I simply was like, wait a minute. I was like, but before the whole time situation, one thing that was pissing me off, and I will not I will not be so. I'm not sorry for this at all. One thing that was truly pissing me off was that we used to take the trash out in the evening time. Whoever was the closer would take the trash out. And I guess my new manager closed once and she didn't want to take the trash out, whatever. So she moved the trash taken out in the morning and was like, we can start taking the trash out. Mind you, she came up with a list of things that you're supposed to do when the store opened. We didn't have that. She brought that in. But she seemed like somebody who was like, the rules apply to you, not to me. And I said, ooh, that doesn't work for me. Because you can't make rules and then take yourself out the equation. Nah. So she moved the trash taken out nest from the night to the day. But she was mostly the opener. Because like I said, like I just said, I started realizing I was closing a lot more, even though there were 3 people to cover the shifts. And like we had a key holder, so the key holder was supposed to close as much as possible to give me an opportunity to leave just as early as she's leaving. But I guess that didn't work for her, or like that wasn't the company rule. Mind you, that was the rule when I first started. I had very limited closing because that's what all companies had done. But that's fine. So she would not take out the trash. She would leave the trash and wait until, let's say I was coming in at 11, and wait until 11. And at first I was like, oh, okay, she must have been busy or something, so I'll just take the trash out, no questions. And then I started to notice that the trash would just be there when you come home, when you come in. And I was like, so one day I said, were you busy? And she didn't like that. She said, what do you mean? I said, well, the trash is sitting right there. Were you busy this morning? She goes, yes, I had so much to do. Da, da, da. I said, well, it would have taken a couple of minutes to just take the trash out. Oh, she did not like that. She went off on me. She's like, I can't believe you're chastising me over trash. That's the least of my concern. I'm not concerned about the trash. I said, oh my God. It's just a simple correction about trash. Like, I think it's kind of rude to be an opener and for that to be on the opening checklist and for you to wait until 11 o'clock when somebody else comes in to take out the trash when it was your rule. She was not having it. You would think I slapped her. She got on her little victim thing and she busted out crying. Okay, now this is the first time I've seen her cry because there will be follow-up tears. This is the first time I've seen her cry. So I was like, oh, I feel bad. I'm like, oh God, girl, I'm not trying to make you sad. I'm just literally pointing out the fact that if you make a rule, you kind of have to follow it. I'm talking more than I'm doing my makeup. But I was just like, in my mind, I was just like, girl, there's no need to tear up. So I feel bad. Yeah, I'm like, girl, it's okay. You know, seriously, that's just how I work. When I see things that are off-putting, I confront them immediately. So please don't cry. So I comforted her, apologized, even though I knew there was nothing to apologize for. Apologized and was on my merry way. Fast forward to the whole time situation. I mentioned this to her. Simply mentioned. She went off on me again. She said, oh, this is the second time. She's Kiki. She's like, this is the second time you're going off on me on the floor. I'm like, wait, I'm not going off on you. I just brought to your attention that I'm closing more than I think I should be closing because when my old manager was here, she goes, oh, you just want me to do things like the old manager? I said, no, I just want you to not have me closing when we have a key holder. Mind you, at this point, the key holder is about to leave, so it don't even matter. So I'm like, okay. So she goes off on me again. We have another confrontation about the time. So I said, okay, so this is giving unsafe to voice out your opinion. But I tried to bring it to the attention of my area manager who just hired her. And she's like, oh, no, Eunice. She adores you. You can be open policy. She told me in the interview she's an open door policy type manager. She's ready to hear her team and what her team has to say. And in my mind, I'm like, girl, you're not here. This lady does not want to hear what we got to say. She wants to set the rules. We follow the rules, no question. If we question it, it's beef. And at first, I was on her side. But now I'm like, okay, this is becoming excessive. You can't take everything that your team questioned personal. Because not a disrespect to you. I genuinely was just so confused as to why. So why I was closing so much when I really don't. I knew I had done key holder positions before, and most of the time the key holder closes. Okay, key holder is gone. Key holder quit. It's just she and I now. She continues. So the first weekend the key holder is gone, we're doing longer hours, and I realized this literally put me on for long shifts on a Saturday by myself. I let it slide. I said, a Saturday shift alone? That's kind of tacky, but no, I will let it slide because I don't know what she got going on in her life. She needed this vacation. She probably needed the day off before she even got on this job, so I'm going to leave it. Mind you, she's been here 3 months. So I know she did it, but I let it go. I let it slide. Month, I think that happened in February. When I March, and I saw it again. Like, the schedule was made. She got feelings. Like, whenever she was working on the weekend, there would be somebody supporting her. But when I was working on the weekend, she would have me by myself. So I brought it up to her attention. Girl, you would think I slapped the daylights out. You would think I was fighting this woman tooth and nail. I said, are you sure you want me to work alone this Saturday? She goes, yeah, I gotta get my car fixed. I said, what? I said, girl, do you think that's smart? Oh, I should have never said those words. I said, do you think that's smart? She goes, oh my God, you're killing me. You're killing me. You telling me I'm stupid? You telling me I'm stupid? I said, I'm not telling you you're stupid. I'm saying the decision to have me be here by myself a whole Saturday is stupid, not you, the decision. She's like, so you calling me stupid? I'm like, no, I'm not. Ooh, I get mad. And she going off on me. She's going off. She's like, and this is why the last key holder left. She's talking about the key holder before the one that just quit. She's like, this is why the last key holder left. Because you and the other manager were ganging up on him to have him close all the time while you and them left early. You just want me to be closing and you be the opener. I said, that is not what's happening. I said, you don't even know what you're talking about. This man, these two men were bullying me, and the only leeway this man gave me was to let me go early. You don't know what happened. You don't know how that man was yelling at me on the floor before he quit. You don't understand. Don't be saying that, and I've explained to you what happened to me. Don't take that and act like I'm a bully about time. This is the rule in retail. Key holders be closing. She's like, I've been a key holder, and let me tell you something. I don't want you ever questioning me again about the time, okay? I said, so you're a dictator? She goes, stop calling me a dictator, because I kept saying that. I was like, so if I can't question you, that makes you a dictator, right? She's like, stop telling me I'm a dictator. I'm like, well, that's what you are. You can't be a ruler and then tell your subordinates that they can question your authority. That makes you an authoritative leader. You can't be an authoritative leader. It's two of us now. It's just two of us. I'm here to support you. I'm not here to be a doormat. Don't have me closing all the time, and then don't have me working alone on the weekends while you get support. It's supposed to be even, okay? It's two of us. We're getting support for the best we could, but you have to think about me too. That's all I asked. I just asked to be thought of as well. I just asked to not close all the time on a weekend by myself. Girl, that woman read me black, white, and blue. But what pushed me to the edge was when she looked me deep in my eye. And she goes, and this is why so-and-so quit. Because you were out here oppressing them and making them feel bad. So she was projecting on me. Mind you, me and the key holder had a few tit for tat, but it was basically me enforcing her rules, and she met me and them not fighting at all because I just let them do whatever they wanted to do, and I would just tell the area manager so she could know, and I wasn't going back and forth with this person. So when she said that it was my fault the key holder quit, mind you, the last straw for the key holder was her telling them to put their phone away in the middle of a meeting where the Oh my god, something in my eye. The last straw for the key holder was her telling them to put their phone away while we were having a meeting at the store. That's what pushed that person to quit. That's what I'm trying to be so politically correct, because it's not fair to misgender somebody. So I was like, me? Oh, I lost it. I was so mad. I was crying. I called my dad. I said, I'm so tired of working with people who have no self-awareness. Because she didn't. Mind you, she would just say all types of things out her mouth, and she was just, you could tell she just didn't have any self-awareness. So I laughed. I just was like, this is crazy. So that happened. I want to say I was supposed to work that weekend by myself. It happened the Thursday before that weekend. I was supposed to work for myself. So I called my dad. I'm lashing out. I'm like, this is crazy. This is what is going on for me. I'm like, you're so unprofessional. She's like, you're so unprofessional. We're on the sales floor doing this. She's like, you're so unprofessional. You're going against me on the sales floor. I'm like, yes, I am being unprofessional because you started being unprofessional first. So we are both being super catty and like just childish. And once she said it was my fault the key holder quit, I lost it, because I was like, damn, I supported you through this BS of you beefing with this person. I supported you. I definitely had your back. I definitely saw where you were coming from. I definitely felt like they just didn't have any regards for you. So like, even when they will call the store, even when our area manager will call and ask what was going on, I would just tell the truth, because that's just me. I mean, if you're doing wrong, I'm gonna just tell the truth. Before all this happened, we found out they let go of my area manager, so I couldn't even call my area manager who hired me to tell her, because they had let her go, like legitimately fired her because they were downsizing. So there was so much up in the air at that company, and then this happened. So I thought about it. I said, ooh, I said, Eunice, you don't have nowhere to go. You don't have money. What are you gonna do? But one thing about me though is I have pride, not in the sense that I deem myself to be superior to all living creature and none of that. No, not that type. No, I'm very humble, right? Like, I'm very humble. You won't catch me like bragging. I'm using natural light, so if the light shifts, you get it. Not in the, yeah, so my pride shows up when something like that happens. Mind you, I supported her. I gave her the respect she deserved. Like, I knew she was my boss. And maybe somebody could tell me that it was wrong for me to question my boss taking out the trash. Maybe I shouldn't have said, girl, if you come in the morning and the trash needs to go out and you're the opener, you need to take out the trash, because somebody else is not coming in to do that for you until later in the day at 11 o'clock. That to me is disrespectful. I just think it is. I wouldn't do that to you. You wouldn't come in. During that argument, she was like, assistants and a manager's job are not the same. So when I come in the morning, I have so much to do. So much to do. Okay, I have so much to do too. Okay, when I come in the morning, just like you, if there's a bank deposit, I gotta deposit it. If there's a schedule to be made, I gotta make it. And like, I'm doing work just like you. There's no less. The way this company is set up, like, honestly, the reason they have all managers is because the work is legitimately for managerial level, and each manager has to know what the other manager does. Like, the work flows into itself. Like, the superiority is hard to find. Apart from you going out and maybe recruiting, that was the most higher end level of her job. Recruiting and maybe schedule making, that was different from mine. So I don't know. Were you recruiting early in the morning at 9 o'clock? No. If you were going to the bank, I've gone to the bank, take out the trash. So there was no reason for you to be waiting till somebody else coming at 11 o'clock to take out the trash. That's weird, especially since it's your rule. But ma'am read me. I thought about it. So I worked that Saturday. I worked that Sunday. I was conflicted. I was conflicted. I was like, should I? Should I not? Should I? Should I not? Monday, I wrote that resignation just because everything had happened. I had had such a falling out. I didn't even fall out with this man. Like, this man was bullying me, lied and said I was bullying him. They told him, let's sit down so you can show us proof that she's bullying you. Didn't want to sit down, quit, cut off the internet, did all types of things while they were leaving. And then here is a woman. I'm like, okay, maybe because that man was a man, they just were misogynistic towards me. Let's get a woman. She's gonna have girl power. We're gonna be girls. You know what I'm saying? Girl. Like the girl, like she will be a girl's girl. Like, you know, womanhood or whatever, sisterhood. And I'll support her. She'll support me. And that didn't go well either. So I was like, I'm done with this company. Yup. So I put in my resignation that Monday. I went downstairs and I told my dad, I said, I don't put in my resignation. Mind you, y'all, I'm at the age where I have like actual bills. I can't just be up and quitting jobs. But I had to up and quit that job. Yeah, I had to up and quit that particular job. So I quit it. And then come to find out. Wait, I used the wrong thing for the wrong thing, honestly. I just did. Lord. This is my powder brush. This is my bronzer brush, but I just use my bronzer brush on as my powder brush because I'm running my mouth. But I was wondering why it wasn't blending the way I wanted to blend. Once again, we're using regular light, so you know, I'm using daylight, so things ain't gonna look superb. I sat down and wrote that resignation letter because I was just like, yeah, y'all have treated me bad for the last time. And the lady who hired me, most of the people who I started with, mind you, those two men were horrible to me, but they had left. I started with them. I was in this space of like, my boss felt entitled to me teaching her, but she didn't want to give me any like perks for being a good employee. And I'm not saying you gotta, honestly, yes I am, because this is corporate America. You're not doing anything for free. Like, you have to find ways to reward your people for them doing good work. And it was a given that I'm supposed to not be closing all the time, because there's a few of the perks of being an assistant. You get to leave early. You get to make those type of rules for yourself. Like, not even make those type of rules for yourself. Your manager gets to accommodate those things so that just to show kindness to you just as much as showing kindness to her. So I was teaching you all these ropes, like giving you game without demanding anything of you, like without demanding you, without demeaning you, like just being a real girl's girl to you, while the other person was literally just, for lack of a better word, shitting on you. Like, basically, because you didn't understand what you were doing, they treated you like pure trash, like you were not worth leading them. But I was still underneath you. I did not pull the, oh, I'm better than you card. I just said, please don't have me closing so many times. There was no reason for you to read me for filth and then blame me for something we both experienced. To say it's my fault, someone quit, knowing you experienced the same bad behavior as I did, was crazy and diabolical to me. So I was just like, what is going on, ma'am? Don't do that. So I told her that Monday. And what made me realize she was even crazy is the fact, when I came in the next day, she just wanted to act like nothing happened. She was kikiing, she was laughing. I said, oh no, you are crazy. There's no way we're going to have such a heated, disrespectful conversation, and I come in the next day and you're kikiing and you're ha-ha-ing, trying to kiki and ha-ha with me like everything is kumbaya. Ain't no way. I said, ain't no way. Wait, girl, you crazy. I registered that, and I'm still going through it in my mind processing. How can you possibly be over it already? No. Girl, absolutely not. So I just stopped, interacting with her deeply. And I kind of kept it back to professionalism because it was getting to the point where I was like, oh, you know, this is my good Judy. We kiki, we laugh, we like make jokes. I snatched my personality back and got back into straight and narrow. Just hello, hello, this is the job. Let's get this job done. And this is why I don't become friends with people at work. Because you give somebody an inch and they take a freaking mile. Want to disrespect me while I'm being nice to you is crazy. So, yeah, I quit. And what happened? Because this story is going nowhere fast. So yeah, she tried to be really, really nice to me and I just wasn't having it. I was just like, girl, you were so rude and nasty the other day. I'm not going to sit here and act like nothing happened. So I did my little 1-2. I gave her a month. Well, basically, I gave her a month because I needed a month. I randomly quit. So I quit so I wrote my resignation letter probably the 1st of April, and I gave them till the 4th of May because the schedule had already gone out for those dates. So I said from the 1st of April to the 4th of May, you guys can find time. It was just she and I. Had I left a day or two, right? If I had just said, oh, I quit, she would have had nobody. I'm not that type of person. So it was for me, but it generally also was for her because I did want her to find a team because the last team member had left. She just burnt a bridge with me, so I'm leaving. The people who are coming in to help her, they belong to another store, so they can only come in every once in a while. They're not really there all the time. So I knew if I said, oh, I quit, and I only gave her 2 days notice or 2 weeks, she was not going to make it. She barely could find anybody to help out at all when we were trying to even hire to replace the key holder. So I didn't want to do that to her. But towards the month, but at the same time, I also gave her the month because I needed a month to find a job. I needed work. I didn't have a job. I have my car note to pay. I have bills. I have a credit card there. I need to pay my bills. And I needed a job. I needed something coming in quickly. So I quit. I gave her a month. I said, May 4th, I gave myself that. And girl, I started applying. Okay. And you know what? God is good. God is great all the time. And that's the last video y'all saw where I was like, oh, I'm in transition right now because I really was. I had left my job just like that and went on about my day. So I was like, oh, shoot, I need a job. But like, the beautiful thing is I knew it was time for me to let go of that place because baby, I was wasting. I mean, I'm still wasting away because I don't know what the heck I'm doing in this here life. But at that place, I was really wasting because like I said, the job was easy. That honestly was the easiest money I've ever made. Without the crazy people, I could go in there. Most of the time I was working by myself, which was a beautiful thing. And the weekends were busy enough to keep you busy. The first manager didn't have any cell phone issues. So honestly, I didn't really have to people interact like that except with customers. But with the team, I did not have to interact like that because once I was on the floor and my manager was in the back, I was on my phone just dilly-dallying. After I sent a couple of emails, that was it. Most of the things I did was send a couple of emails, unpack shipments, called it a day. Like, that was it. Maybe sit in a couple of calls. That was it. That was the easiest money I'd ever made. And I was going to miss it. But at the same time, I was getting bored and just standing on the floor on my phone, not doing anything, trying to figure out what to do. It was slow. It was so much dead time there. I felt like I was being unproductive. I've talked more than I've done my makeup. But yeah, I felt like I was being unproductive. So I came home. And I wrote in my journal what I was looking for. And I told God I wanted something that was 11 to 7. I wanted something in a different field. I wanted something that was a little bit more corporate than retail. I wanted a different environment altogether. I just wanted something different. So I started looking for jobs and I don't think I'm going to do eyeshadow. Or should I do eyeshadow? Actually, I'm going to do my blush. I'm running my mouth. It's so hard to keep track of what I'm doing and talking. I've talked more than I've done. Yeah, so I put that in my journal. in my manifestation journal. And then I started applying, and my sister told me that, like, my sister works from Nordstrom, and so she told me that Nordstrom was hiring. And I knew I just needed quick money. I knew even if I don't find the right job now, I just need money to be coming in my hand so I can do something with it. Because I'm a big woman. I want to say I'm a big girl, but I'm a woman. I'm a woman and I need something in my hand. So she's like, oh yeah, they're hiring at Nordstrom part-time. I said, I'll take it. So she's like, you need to apply. So I applied and I interviewed with the manager. I rarely go on interviews that I don't get the job unless I'm not desperate. But if I get my desperate bag where I'm like, damn, I need a job, I need a job now. Oh, I bring my A game to interviews. So it's rarely I miss an interview. I've missed a few interviews, but like rarely do I leave the interview with somebody saying, oh no, not her. So I knew I was going to bag Nordstrom because it was a part-time. The lady asked me a couple of questions. I answered and boom, I was in Nordstrom. That was right before the 4th. I knew I'd secured that. So then another opportunity came up where I have been applying. I graduated with finance, and I will say this about the finance industry. There's scammers and hooligans, but it's a good paying industry. And when I got out of college, I got into finance really, really quickly, made a couple of dollars, and got me and my family our first, like, our apartments that we used to live at. If you watch my old videos, you know that apartment. So I got another opportunity to go back into finance, but it was part-time, okay, and it was banking. I said, you know what, this is exactly what I wrote down. It's a different industry. The hours are from 9 to 5. You know what I'm saying? So that's perfect. And I can get a side job on the side. And so I started interviewing with this company. The first time the lady reached out to me, she said, let's schedule a meeting. I said, cool. Miss Mamas didn't get back to me. Miss Mama said, girl, I'm sick. Well, actually, she just said something came up. So we got to move she said we got to reschedule, but she never told me when she wanted to reschedule. Where is my, did this woman take this thing from me? Y'all, my mascara ain't here. Alright, we just won't do mascara. Let's face it, I really got on this camera just to tell you all what happened. Not to do this makeup. This makeup is looking like something, but I'm pretty sure it's nothing. So my mascara is gone, and I'm honestly not going to go looking. Let me try the lip liner now. So this woman, oh, I can do eyeshadow. That's what I can do while I complete this. Should I? Yeah, I guess do a little one too. She dipped. She didn't call me back. She didn't tell me when we should reschedule. She just said, let's reschedule. I mean, there's not much I can do there. I said, okay. So we rescheduled. And yeah. She called me. She emailed me the next week, like maybe 1 or 2 weeks after, because I had forgotten about them. I said, oh, she never told me when we should reschedule. She just said we should reschedule. I forgot about her. I said she don't want me. She don't moved on. Whatever. She reached out to me 2 weeks from then, and she says, let's reschedule. And then we rescheduled. I got on the phone with her. She questioned me. She was just a recruiter for the company. Then she sent me into the company to go interview. I met another African woman, feisty. And I said, well, God just wants me to meet women and work with women because I don't know. The womanhood, I have worked with women. I've worked with catty women. I've worked with my boss. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, that lady used to cry at the drop of her hat. Every argument she and I had ended in tears. I spent most of my time being, what is a narcissistic, blame, something, reverse, victim. Yeah, so every time we argue, even though I knew I was not wrong, she will definitely become defensive and start crying and make herself the victim. So I've worked with women, but that woman, I hadn't worked with a woman like that. And I worked with some bitchy, catty women, okay? I was in an office full of women at one point. When I first got out of college, I did not handle myself to the best of my abilities. But it was never a screaming match. It was just a lot of mind games and passive aggression. I was used to that. I wasn't used to being yelled at in broad daylight because I just know my anger. I go from 0 to jail instantaneously. It don't go, I don't, a lot of the times I'm quiet because I just know my anger is from 0 to jail. That's why I'm quiet. That's why I keep to myself, because it's 0 to jail. 0 to either you're beating me up or I'm beating you up. Like, I don't have an in between when it comes to my anger. Once I lose it, it takes me at least 3 days to calm down. At least 3 days for me to calm down. So I don't like getting angry. So in that situation, it was best that I walked away. But yes, I met an African woman who is now my manager. She cool. What part of Africa is she from? Is it East? She's kind of like the Eastern African. She's like the lighter version of African. She's an African by her accent, but she light skin African. And I forgot what part, like what north or east or west she's from. Yeah, so she's now my manager. She cool, but I'm still in training. I haven't really jumped into the floor yet, so I'm not gonna really praise nothing, talk about nothing, because baby, you can go from 0 to 1,000. That's what happened the last time. So I'm just gonna take precautions and not say much. But yeah, girl, that's it. That's exactly what happened. And in that times period between April and May, I was desperate. I was interviewing with everybody, and there was no prospects. My sister got me to interview with Nordstrom. Nordstrom came in the clutch. I love Nordstrom. I shopped there already, so it was like no brainer. I'm back in the Nordstrom orbit, and I can't really say the financial banking I'm at, because safety reasons, because it's banking, and also safety reasons, and I just don't think we're allowed to mention them if it doesn't pertain to them. So yeah, so I'm in banking, starting up from the bottom. I'm not like, it's the same behavior I had in the old store I was at. I'm not really seeking promotion. I'm not really seeking superiority. I'm simply here to collect a check, do my job, and go home. You all hear me? Collect a check, do my job, and do what? Go home. I'm not here to do too much with anybody. And I realized I be robbing people the wrong way, because apparently minding your business is a crime. I just be minding my business and people think I'm over here shooting my nose at them. That thing just pissed me off, because I'm just like, what is your issue? Why do you have such low self-esteem that you think somebody else minding their business is a hate crime to you, sir, ma'am? Get it together. But yeah, so I'm still in training. And their training is extensive because there's so many rules and regulations, because you're dealing with people's finances. And when you're dealing with people's finances, you gotta know, because baby, anything go wrong with somebody's money, it's your fault. And I've already seen it. I've already seen a few. I've already seen the people just curse, well, they didn't curse them out, but just not having it, because it's money at the end of the day. But that's where I've been, trying to get myself financially back in order. Things are starting to look up. I'm not feeling stressed like I was when I was jobless. I was jobless for like 1 week because I actually took a break right before I started. Then it was my birthday. I had a great birthday. Yeah, so like I took a week off for my birthday. Right after my birthday, I went back to work. I started at Nordstrom. Then the company I'm working for now, they confirmed that they want me to start, and Nordstrom already started me, so I just dropped down to a part-time, extreme part-time at Nordstrom. And yeah, so now I'm on 2 paychecks. That's God. That's only God, because when I walked away from that company, I didn't know where I was going. I wasn't really going anywhere. I was lost. I'm still lost, but I'm back in the finance industry, and with some of the certificates and stuff like that I need in finance, it's good to have a banking support, and that's what I'm gonna have, and that's why I'm appreciative of where I'm at now. So yeah, I'm no longer an assistant, and I'm definitely starting from the bottom again, because both of these jobs are part-time, but together it's still enough for me to do what I have to do for myself. So we're hoping and praying that it will lead to something better, but honestly, I'm not pressed, because I leave it all in God's hands, because He definitely took me from where I was to where I'm at. I didn't do much. I usually put in applications. Mind you, for banking, I've been trying to be in banking for like since I graduated college. Like, I applied to all the different banks when I first graduated, and nobody gave me a chance. Nobody. I interviewed with a few, ended up doing finance for structured settlements, and then now, without force, it was one of the easiest interviews I've had to start. So like I said, I'm not gonna really praise it just yet, because maybe we've not hit the floor yet. So once we hit that floor, then we're gonna know if it's really worth the heartache and pain. But also, there are other reasons why I want to do it, because I do want to get like specific with finance, because to make money you have to be very specific with finance. You hear me? So yeah, that's what's been going on with your girl. She just been close to poverty. I'm not saying I'm rich. I'm definitely not rich, honestly. I'm definitely poor, but I was going to be poorer since I lost the job that was paying me decent money. But I feel like there's promise for me. I feel like there are new, better opportunities, but I needed to take a break to settle myself. I needed to, with the training, there were a few exams I needed to pass to really show that I was going to be in the industry, and I did pass, so I can talk about it now. I can talk about it. I have one more week left of serious training, and then I will be on the floor full-time. Well, part-time until full-time opportunity presents itself. But I'm not pressed. Like I said, I'm not pressed. If it comes, yay. If it doesn't, okay. So yeah, that's my life update. With me, only my job or my family can get me shook. Love life, nothing. Love life, honestly, the talking stage, I'm cutting people off seriously still. We're still cutting people off like it's nothing, because we just don't have time for it. So you look at me wrong, I'm cutting you off. So yeah, I have had a few talking stages, but that's all. Just chopped them off, because it just wasn't going to work out, and they seemed like they were going to cost me my peace. During the conversations, he was nice, but you're going to cost me my peace, you got to go. If you're not going to cost me my peace, you can stay. But if you're going to cost me my peace, you got to go. I don't know. That's just the rule. So yeah. But I do have a few videos lined up that I'm recording. Okay. Alright now. Alright, so this is a little one too. I didn't do mascara. It was literally a no makeup look. Yeah, it wasn't gonna be much. I forgot to do this. Oh, I have some for that. Before I was rudely interrupted by my battery dying on my camera, I was saying a few things, but I do have a few videos that I do want to shoot. One of them is the how to put an outfit together. My community seems to like that type of video. Excuse me. It's one of the more popular videos that I put out and people watch. So there's that. I also have a haul that I want to do. I also have a haul that I want to do, and then I have a so it's how to put an outfit together with a different inspiration this time, and then I have a haul that I want to do, and then I want to start doing more fashion related content, like breaking down style and stuff like that. We're still working out the kinks, and then I want to do more life advice type deal. So yeah, I do have plans, but this is the first comeback video. I did change the, if you watched up to this point, you will see. I did change the intro, so we have a new intro. Hopefully, it doesn't get copywritten, because I do like the song that's playing on there, but it's also a very popular song, so hopefully it doesn't get copywritten. If it does get copywritten, I'll probably try to slow it down so I can get 10 seconds off of it. We'll do something, but I hope it doesn't get copywritten. But like, yeah, this is the final look. It's a little 1-2-1-2. Honestly, all I'm gonna do after this is go pick up my sister from work. But I haven't played in makeup in so long, so I was like, oh, let me play in makeup and let me tell the people what I had going on. That's what I had going on. I was dealing with another crazy boss. I feel like I just invite crazy people into my life, and maybe I'm the problem. Maybe I am the problem. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I'm not supposed to question my boss about taking out the trash. Maybe that's a little bit too bold. But like I said, if you open and that's your rule, it don't matter. Don't wait for somebody else to come complete something you know you ought to do. After that day, she never did it again. So that's all I'm saying. After that day, she argued me down. But next time I came, I did not see a trash waiting for nobody, including me. It wasn't there. That's all I'm saying. So maybe I was rude. Can take accountability for that, but don't make the rule if you know you're not going to stand beside it, period. But you guys know I really appreciate you supporting me. I really appreciate you guys supporting me. I appreciate you watching down to this point. If you I can't even speak, but if you've reached this point of the video, please go ahead and hit the like button. And if you've reached this point of the video and you still not subscribe to me, okay, girl, if you don't want to subscribe to me, that's fine. But I think you should still try to subscribe to me, because you've watched the video to this point. So hit the subscribe button. But yeah, I'm not going to, once again, when we started this year, what did I say? I said I'm not going to promise consistency, but I'm going to try to show up. And I am. Okay? So, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.